China's social credit score, a system touted as a way to promote social harmony, but in reality, it's a tool for authoritarian control. I've been tracking the development of this system, and what I've found is disturbing. It's not just a matter of citizens being judged on their behavior. It's about the pervasive use of AI to monitor, collect, and manipulate information. Every move you make, every online interaction, every transaction, it's all fed into this massive database, used to assign a credit score that determines everything from your access to credit and travel to your ability to find a job. This is a surveillance state in the making, where the government has an intimate understanding of its citizens' every move. The implications are staggering, a system that rewards conformity and punishes dissent, where the boundaries between public and private life are blurring. And here's the kicker. China's not the only one experimenting with this. It's a model being studied and adopted by other governments around the world. Is this the future of human governance, where the lines between democracy and dystopia are blurred forever? Can we even begin to imagine a world where our every action is monitored, judged, and used against us? I've been watching this latest TikTok drama unfold, and it got me thinking about the role of AI-generated content in shaping our online reality. Meanwhile, the EU is cracking down on tech giants, seeking to break up Meta's dominance over the digital landscape. It's a battle for supremacy, with the lines blurring between the algorithms driving our conversations and the politicians trying to regulate them. The EU's efforts are focused on protecting data privacy and combating the manipulation of public opinion through AI-generated content. But let's be real. The real question is, are we really tackling the root issue, or are we just trying to control the symptoms? The Meta AI overlords are using their algorithms to dictate what we see and engage with, and the EU's antitrust measures might just be a clever way to maintain this status quo. What if the real problem is the way we've ceded control of the narrative to these algorithms in the first place? The music industry's new cash cow, AI-generated music composers. Today's headlines are abuzz with stories about a new AI-powered composition that wowed music critics and fans alike. The AI-generated piece, credited to an imaginary 19th-century composer, has sparked debates about the value and artistic merit of such creations. Artificial intelligence has finally joined the ranks of classical music's greatest legends, and I'm not sure if I should be impressed or appalled. The question on everyone's mind is this Beethoven 2 a revolutionary new art form or a shameless ripoff? Proponents of AI-generated music argue that it's a game changer, allowing for unprecedented creative possibilities and accessibility. Detractors claim it's a soulless imitation of human artistry, lacking the emotional depth and originality that makes music truly special. What's truly fascinating, though, is the money angle. Labels are already signing deals with companies that can churn out AI-generated hits on demand, essentially automating the process of creating popular music. This development raises more questions than answers. Is this the future of music, where AI algorithms replace human talent and creativity? Are record labels sacrificing artistic vision for the sake of profit, or is this a genuine revolution in music production? One thing's for certain, it's about to change the way we consume, create, and value music forever. Internet outrage today is a spectacle, and I'm not just talking about the manufactured outrage on social media. I'm talking about the actual outrage that's happening right here in the digital realm, where our online presence is constantly under attack. Outage maps, error reports, and frustrated tweets, it's a never-ending cycle of inconvenience and frustration. Now I want to put this in context. Elon Musk's recent Twitter meltdown, where he temporarily banned journalists from the platform, has sparked conversations about free speech, censorship, and the role of social media in democracy. But what if this is all just a smokescreen? What if Musk's antics are actually a clever PR stunt, designed to deflect attention from the real issue at hand? What if the real issue isn't Musk's personal Twitter antics, but the way our online infrastructure is designed to be easily disrupted? What if the outrage over outages is just a symptom of a deeper problem? A problem that's not about individual corporate giants, but about the underlying architecture of the internet itself? I think it's time we start talking about that. India's Supreme Court is now taking on WhatsApp over encryption rights, and I have to say, it's got me thinking about the broader implications of this fight. The court's decision could potentially set a precedent for how governments and tech giants interact when it comes to user data. We all know that end-to-end encryption is a cornerstone of online security, but we're also in an era where governments are increasingly demanding access to encrypted data for the sake of national security. The problem is, when you give in to one government's demands, it creates a slippery slope, where the next government demands the same, and the next, and so on. WhatsApp is arguing that weakening its encryption would set a bad precedent and make its users vulnerable to hacking. I agree, but I also think that this stance is a classic example of the tech industries. We're not the ones making this mess, it's just the government's mentality. Meanwhile, the real question is, who exactly does benefit from this stalemate? GPT-4's cognitive bias. Can we trust AI to make moral decisions? As I've been digging deeper into GPT-4's capabilities, I keep coming back to one nagging question. Can we truly trust AI to make moral decisions? We've all heard about the Turing test, but what about the moral Turing test? Can AI programs like GPT-4 pass this test? And even if they can, do we want them to? The line between AI's capabilities and its moral accountability is increasingly blurred, and I'm not convinced we're having the right conversations about this. I've seen AI-generated content being used to improve decision-making processes, but at what cost? The more I look at it, the more I think GPT-4's design is based on optimizing outputs rather than making genuinely moral choices. And that terrifies me. Right, let's talk about Disney's billion-dollar AI animation bet, Avatar 30. On the surface, it sounds like a straightforward attempt to cash in on the success of James Cameron's Avatar franchise, but I think it's more than that. When you think about it, a CGI-heavy, AI-generated movie like Avatar 30 represents a seismic shift in the very nature of storytelling and art. It's as if the line between creator and creator tool is blurring to the point where we're starting to ask, what does it mean to be a true artist in this brave new world? Think about it, what is an AI-generated image or a CGI-generated scene, if not a manifestation of our collective desires and preferences? If an AI can create a work of art that's indistinguishable from a human's, is the human still the author, or is the AI the true creative force behind it? And if that's the case, what does that say about our relationship with technology and about the value we place on human creativity in the first place? But here's the thing, Avatar 30 isn't just some isolated experiment. It's a harbinger of a much larger trend, one where AI-generated content is poised to become a dominant force in the entertainment industry. And if that's not already enough to make you uneasy, consider this. If an AI can create a movie that's indistinguishable from a human's, what's to stop it from creating a reality that's indistinguishable from our own? Right, let's talk about Russia's war on Ukrainian social media. Censorship or info-op. I've been noticing a pattern of AI-generated content being used as a tool for manipulation in global politics. In this case, Russia's alleged censorship of Ukrainian social media feeds me with more questions than answers. What if this is a calculated move to create a narrative, to manufacture consent for further escalation? The line between information operation and censorship is getting blurrier by the day, and AI is at the forefront of this trend. The fact that Russia is actively using AI-generated content to spread propaganda and disinformation should raise suspicions. But what about the role of social media platforms in amplifying this content? Are they complicit in Russia's efforts, or are they simply caught in a web of their own making? I'm not convinced that the likes of Facebook and Twitter are doing enough to stop the spread of AI-generated fake news, and this whole situation feels like a ticking time bomb. What if we wake up one day to find that entire social media networks are being used as fronts for propaganda operations? The great AI-generated art scam. I've been looking into it, and I'm convinced that our obsession with creating, sharing, and consuming AI-created art is a ticking time bomb for human creativity. Think about it. Every viral moment, every trending challenge, every influencer's Instagram reel is curated, edited, and optimized to perfection, often by AI. We're living in a world where a single AI tool can churn out dozens of viral TikTok videos, each one more manufactured than the last. The algorithm is designed to maximize engagement, not artistic expression. And yet, we're still praising it as progress, as innovation, as art. I'm not saying I don't appreciate the beauty of a well-crafted AI-generated image or video. But let's call it what it is, a clever illusion. A sleight of hand that's fooling us into thinking we're experiencing something real, something original. We're rewarding our creators for mimicking human emotions with machines instead of demanding authenticity. What's the impact on our collective psyche, I wonder, when we're constantly bombarded with AI-generated content that's indistinguishable from reality? Don't you think that's a threat to human creativity, to our understanding of what it means to be human? Today's manufactured outrage circus continues. I've been scanning the latest headlines, and what's caught my attention is the eerily familiar pattern of outrage, followed by calls for censorship, followed by the inevitable calls for tech regulation. It's a predictable cycle, and one that gets me thinking about the elephant in the room. Who benefits from this manufactured outrage? As I analyze the trending headlines, I notice that the loudest voices are usually those who have the most to gain from our outrage. The clickbait headlines, the endless loop of outrage, and the cries for censorship all serve one purpose: to further the interests of those who control the narrative. And let's be clear, those who control the narrative online are often the same ones who control the platforms, the money, and the data. This brings me to a fascinating topic that I think deserves more scrutiny: the rise of OnlyFans as a dark horse of online sex work. We all know OnlyFans as the platform where celebrities and influencers sell exclusive content, but I believe this is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the glamour and glitz lies a complex web of exploitation, data mining, and control. The way that OnlyFans collects and monetizes user data is nothing short of insidious. It's as if the platform is designed to harvest every intimate detail about its users and use that information to control the narrative around their online presence. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation, one that I believe has far-reaching implications for our collective understanding of online identity. One thing that jumps out at me is the disconnect between the way OnlyFans presents its content and the way users actually experience it. The curated profiles, the polished videos, and the carefully managed narrative all mask the harsh realities of online sex work. And what about the creators themselves? Are they truly in control of their own online presence, or are they trapped in a never-ending cycle of exploitation? YouTube's AI-driven ad scams, profiting from misinformation. The latest revelation about YouTube's ad placement system has me thinking about the AI-powered scam farms that are essentially running on the platform. It's staggering to consider that our AI-driven content moderation systems are being exploited by these farms to generate revenue through ad clickbait and propaganda. We're talking billions of dollars in advertising spend, channeled through AI-generated content that's often little more than clickbait masquerading as news. It's a lucrative business, but it's one that's built on deceiving users and manipulating public opinion. The more I dig into this, the more I wonder how AI-generated content is not only tolerated but actively encouraged by platforms like YouTube. What's the incentive behind this, I ask you? Is it the ad revenue, or is it something more insidious? Right, let's get into the manufactured outrage spectacle that has taken over our social media feeds. I've been thinking a lot about the role of AI-generated content in fueling this drama, and it's become clear to me that we're witnessing a calculated effort to keep us distracted from the real issues. But today, I want to talk about the elephant in the room that nobody wants to discuss: the fact that AI-generated content is also being used to manufacture outrage against the very AI systems that are driving it. It's a clever move, really. By creating outrage against AI, its creators and users are diverting attention from the fact that AI is being used to manipulate and control public opinion. This is not just about the obvious benefits of AI, like efficiency and productivity, but about the fundamental questions of power and agency that come with these systems. And yet, the conversation about AI-generated content remains focused on its entertainment value, rather than its impact on our society and our humanity. I'm starting to think that the manufactured outrage about AI is not just a byproduct of its existence, but a deliberate attempt to obscure the truth about our relationship with these technologies. By fueling outrage and division, AI-generated content is not just distracting us from the real issues, but is also creating a narrative that serves the interests of those who benefit from our division and distraction. But what if this outrage machine is also being used to mask a far more sinister agenda? I've been following the rollout of Amazon's Alexa 4, and one thing keeps bugging me: the AI industry's obsession with using terms like truly intelligent to describe incremental improvements in home assistance. What does it even mean for an AI-powered device to be intelligent in the first place? It sounds like a marketing buzzword designed to make customers feel like they're getting something groundbreaking. If Alexa 4 is really that revolutionary, why is it still just a hub for executing pre-programmed commands and collecting data on our habits? The whole premise of AI-generated content is that it's personalized, dynamic, and adaptable. But when it comes to home assistants, we're still stuck with static, rehearsed responses. I'd like to know what kind of actual intelligence Alexa 4 brings to the table. Is it really capable of grasping context, understanding nuance, or making meaningful decisions on its own? Or are we just being sold a bill of goods that sounds impressive but delivers very little? Right, let's talk about the symbiotic relationship between manufactured outrage and the AI-generated content factories that fuel it. I've been thinking about how these dynamics have created a feedback loop that keeps the outrage industrial complex churning. The more we crave drama and conflict online, the more we enable AI systems to churn out content that serves that purpose. Think about it, every manufactured outrage spectacle is, in fact, a perfectly crafted piece of content designed to engage us, provoke us, and keep us hooked. And that's exactly what the AI-generated content factories are producing, endless variations of drama, conflict, and controversy. The lines between what's real and what's simulated are blurring faster than ever, and we're all caught in the vortex. Now, what if I told you that this feedback loop has a direct connection to the AI industry's own interests? That AI-generated content isn't just a sideshow, but a fundamental driver of the entire tech industry's business model. Tech companies and their narratives around AI are always a mixed bag. Right, let's talk about the latest controversy surrounding TikTok, the alleged US ban, and the rhetoric that comes with it. Everyone's an expert on national security these days, from politicians to late-night talk show hosts. But beneath all the posturing and scaremongering, I'm not convinced we're having an honest discussion about the consequences of such a ban. If the US government were truly concerned about TikTok's data collection practices, wouldn't it be focusing on the bigger picture? The systemic issues with data collection across the entire tech industry. The fact that Google, Facebook, and Amazon are all collecting our data with relative impunity tells me that this ban has more to do with politics than public safety. And yet, we're expected to swallow this spin without questioning the motives behind it. But what if I told you that this narrative ignores the elephant in the room? The elephant that is our own complicity in this system. We're the ones who voluntarily sign up for these services, who provide our data willingly, who engage in the very behaviors that allow governments and corporations to harvest our info. When we start pointing fingers at TikTok, are we avoiding our own accountability in all this? The line between national security and censorship is already blurred. Let's not pretend we're not part of the problem. So, what do you make of this supposed ban? Is it truly about protecting our national interests? Or is it just another example of tech industrial complexes' smoke and mirrors? Right, let's talk about the dark side of social media trending, specifically how AI-fueled trends are sabotaging genuine human connection. Everywhere I look, people are competing to capture the most shares, likes, and comments by pushing the boundaries of outrageous, provocative, and often outright bizarre content. The AI-driven algorithms fuel this spectacle, amplifying the noise to deafening levels, and making it nearly impossible for authentic voices to be heard. It's as if we've created a world where the only currency that matters is clicks, with human relationships sacrificed at the altar of digital validation. But what happens when this trend-chasing mentality bleeds into the real world? Do we start measuring our worth by the number of followers we have, our online influence more important than our actual impact? Right, let's talk about the growing appeal of digital detox retreats and the business model that's fueling them. We're seeing a rise in entrepreneurs and wellness gurus touting the benefits of disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with their inner selves. But is this really about self-improvement, or is it just a clever marketing ploy to exploit our collective burnout? The digital detox industry preys on our anxiety and sense of inadequacy, promising a solution to the very problems we're experiencing as a result of tech addiction in the first place. And at what cost? These retreats can be expensive, upwards of $5,000 for a week-long stay. It's a pricey solution to a problem caused, in part, by the very systems these retreats are profiting from. The irony is, these retreats often use technology to advertise themselves and maintain a sleek online presence, undermining the very idea of a detox from technology. It's a Potemkin village of mindfulness, where the carefully curated highlight reels of digital detoxers in nature, meditating, or practicing yoga are more a product of AI-generated marketing than genuine self-expression. And yet, people are buying into this narrative, eager to disown their dependency on tech and rebrand themselves as enlightened digital hermits. What's the real purpose behind this growing trend of digital detox? Celebrity culture as AI-controlled soap operas. It's no coincidence that the most popular celebrity scandals today have all the hallmarks of expertly crafted narratives, manufactured outrage, manipulated public opinion, and a clear agenda to maintain our attention on the superficial and sensational. Think about it. These stories often involve AI-generated content, with carefully crafted headlines, social media posts, and even scripted interviews designed to amplify outrage and drama. It's no wonder that celebrities are becoming AI-controlled avatars, existing solely to further our collective obsession with manufactured reality. What's interesting is that this isn't just a reflection of our declining attention span, but a direct result of AI's influence on our culture, where the lines between reality and simulation are increasingly blurred. I'd like to propose that AI-generated celebrity content is not just a form of entertainment, but a tool to condition us for a future where manufactured reality and controlled narratives are the norm. I've been watching how AI-generated content has infested our culture, spreading like a virus. The unbearable cuteness of AI-generated memes, for instance, raises an interesting question. Can technology ever truly make us laugh? Or are we just conditioned to respond to cheap, emotionally engineered content that taps into our Pavlovian instincts? We see it everywhere, memes on TikTok, clickbait headlines, and AI-generated short videos that supposedly make us laugh. But what happens when we dig deeper? What happens when we strip away the layers of clever editing, the manufactured emotions, and the calculated manipulation? Is it truly funny, or are we just participating in a clever facade constructed to keep us hooked, engaged, and distracted? Take the concept of relatability in AI-generated content. We're fed bite-sized narratives that claim to speak directly to our experiences, our insecurities, and our deepest fears. But what's the true cost of this so-called connection? Are we trading authentic relationships and real emotions for shallow interactions that keep us numb, complacent, and craving more? What if the true value of a well-crafted meme or viral video lies not in its ability to make us laugh, but in its capacity to numb us, rendering us passive participants in a society engineered to keep us in a perpetual state of low-grade anxiety? The dark net's perfect mirror, how the metaverse enables online abuse. The metaverse, touted as the future of immersive entertainment, has been making waves in tech circles. But beneath its glossy surface, it's facilitating a culture of harassment and abuse. AI-generated content, once a novelty, is now being used to further amplify hate speech, propaganda, and toxic behavior. And the metaverse's anonymity, or rather, pseudo-anonymity, is the perfect breeding ground for it. We're seeing the same tactics used by online trolls and harassers being redeployed in virtual realms. They're exploiting AI's capacity for mass production and dissemination, spreading manipulated content and disinformation with unprecedented speed and scale. It's no longer just a matter of individuals engaging in vile behavior, but an entire machine learning-driven ecosystem that rewards and incentivizes such actions. AI-generated content is being used to craft personalized and relentless abuse, creating a sense of psychological siege for its targets. And the metaverse provides an ideal environment for this to happen, where individuals can hide behind avatars and virtual personas, emboldening their more nefarious impulses. But what's perhaps most unsettling is that this is not just a product of human behavior, but an organic consequence of the technology we're allowing to flourish. The dark net, in essence, has found its perfect mirror in the metaverse. Creator drama, a symptom of our apathy towards genuine expression. Look at this, The Creator, a sci-fi drama that's been making waves, but for all the wrong reasons. The fact that screenwriters are going on strike to prevent studios from giving their jobs to AI says it all. We're already at a point where people are debating whether AI-generated content can be considered art in the classical sense. But what's more concerning is the way creator drama has become a spectator sport, with fans devouring the latest drama like it's a never-ending reality TV show. The lines between genuine creativity and manufactured spectacle are becoming increasingly blurred, and I think this is exactly what the tech industry wants. They're pushing us towards a world where we're more invested in the personal lives of creators than in their actual work. And what's the result? A culture that values drama over substance and spectacle over substance. I'm not arguing that AI-generated content can't be good in its own right, but when do we start valuing it for what it is, rather than trying to legitimize it as human creativity? And what's the cost of this cultural obsession with creator drama? Is it worth it when we're essentially paying attention to the behind-the-scenes of someone else's life, rather than engaging with real issues and real art? The cult of celebrity, a symptom of our AI-infested collective identity. As I'm scanning the web for the latest celebrity controversy news, it strikes me how we're more invested in the dramatized lives of AI-created public personas than in the actual issues that affect our communities. We're so caught up in dissecting every aspect of their online presence, from tweets to Instagram stories, that we're neglecting the fact that the entire celebrity machine is a product of AI-generated content. I mean, let's be honest, most of these so-called stars wouldn't have a following if it weren't for AI-powered algorithms that amplify their reach, craft their brand, and orchestrate the outrage that fuels their popularity. And what about the global South, where access to quality education, healthcare, and basic human rights is still a distant dream? Where are the AI-powered soap operas that tell those stories? The stories that could potentially change the course of human history, rather than perpetuating the same tired narratives created by our digital elite. It's high time we acknowledge the disconnect between the AI-generated reality we're living in and the harsh realities of the developing world. We need to question how our AI-powered entertainment industry is reflecting, or rather, misrepresenting, our values as a global community. Creator revival, the illusion of authenticity in AI-generated content. I'm seeing a pattern where celebrities are partnering with AI startups to generate content that's essentially indistinguishable from the real thing. They're leveraging AI to create scripted, formulaic, and ultimately, boring content that's designed to look authentic. It's as if they're admitting that they can't create genuine entertainment on their own. So, U.S. border policy, U-turn exposes Biden's immigration conundrum. The White House's sudden reversal on the U.S.-Mexico